Well, this is what's wild in New Hampshire. This is Tuesday afternoon, October 24th. I've got a guide today, John Harrigan, North Country icon, John Harrigan. He was telling me about Labrador Brook here. John, that was interesting. Recap your memories of Labrador Brook and who you came up with and when was that and what did you see?
Oh, I came up in here when I was maybe 12 or 13.
So we're in Pittsburg now. We're on this.
Right, actually we're just over the line. We're in Clarksville.
Okay.
But
Cedar Stream Road.
right, Cedar Stream Road.
And right here was where the fishing game remote cabin was, where I came when I was in college. That would be the fall of 1970 or right in there, with Dr. Olson up for a field trip right there. I do remember that.
And yeah, and that, so
Tell me about those cabins again. That was an interesting story.
Get out of the way here. Yeah, there was some old cabins
You can poke along.
on where Labrador. We're coming right across Labrador Brook,
Okay.
and Labrador Brook flowed into, still does flow into Lake Francis,
Yep.
Pittsburg. But we're crossing the old culvert.
That's Labrador Brook. You said up in there when you were a kid there was some logging cabins?
Yeah, there were still three that I remember seeing, and they were so low that you wouldn't anymore go in there than you would go into a bear's den.
Huh.
But that's where people used to live.
Oh, the wintertime to haul logs off.
Yep.
Now they put them in Lake Francis,
Yeah,
and then they would float them down to.
they put them in the Connecticut River and float them down to as far as they could get them to. You know, some of them went all the way down to Mount Tom.
Huh.
In
Spring floods.
yeah. So that was when nobody cared about who owned what back
Right,
then,
yeah.
quite so much as they do now. But I remember going into those old camps, and they've been long gone now. I wouldn't even know where they were. Maybe,
Huh.
Probably I would.
Yep. So they were probably used into the 40s, you think, or were they abandoned before that?
Oh, they were abandoned way before I got on the scene.
Okay.
I think Rudy remembered what they had been when he was a kid.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So this was all kind of newly explored then. Was that, when they were cutting off then, was that the first cut up here, you think?
Depends on where you were, but you know, they never cut any of the softwood up in this country because they couldn't get it to market.
Okay.
So a lot of it never had been cut up in this country
Okay.
until maybe 1920, 1925.
Okay.
somewhere in
All
there.
right, in the 1920s, huh? Cool.
Yeah. Gotta look out for the dents in the road here.
Yeah, yeah. Potholes year round here.
Yeah.
Who maintains this road, John?
Well, nobody does in the wintertime.
Okay, yep.
It's just
Snowmobile.
a snowmobile trail. So there's quite a swath here. You can see how wide it is. And we're looking right up into Canada, by the way, right here.
Right there, yep.
You swing around a little bit here in a minute, you'll be able to see right over into Maine.
Oh, Canada and Maine, and that, probably if we cranked our head far enough that way, we'd see Vermont.
And that top right straight ahead
Yep,
of us,
yep.
that's Stub Hill, I believe.
Okay.
One of the higher peaks around here.
Huh. Now, doesn't the state own some land up in here besides what's around Lake Francis?
You and I and the state own the Connecticut River headwaters tract.
Okay, all right.
And that goes over much of everything you can see,
Okay.
all the way to the Canadian border, and it used to be paper company land.
Yep.
And New Hampshire finally bought a great deal of it, or bought the easements off a great
Yep.
deal of it,
Yep.
so that it's forever protected.
Forever
It'll
protected.
never be developed. It
Yep.
won't be won't have people's houses on it or anything
Right.
like that.
Yep.
It'll be a lot of it will be available for
Timber operations, stuff like that.
Management
Yep.
to lay cuts out and go ahead and use the forest and
That's all Lake Francis out there.
forest products to go ahead and set up logging cuts.
Yep.
So it'll continue to be in the public domain.
Good. Good. This lake is a popular place, Lake Francis.
Nobody on it.
Nobody
even,
today.
Even when it's fair out, there's nobody there.
Huh.
Nobody wants to come up this far and spend the season way out into cold weather.
Yep.
And we're on to cold weather now. We're lucky today.
Today's in the 70s, but
Yeah.
in a snap it's going to change. We know that.
Absolutely.
Could be another week. There could be a foot of snow on this road.
That's right.
All right, Lake Francis.